Welcome in Mathematics 9. This is Sir Michael, your teacher for this video. For today, we will be talking about extracting roots. And our objective is complete the perfect trinomial using completing the square and identify the roots. Quadratic equation is defined as a quadratic function is any equation of the form f of x is equivalent to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a is not equal to 0. Completing the square. Completing the square is defined as is the process in completing our expression and to make it as a perfect trinomial. To complete the square of the expression, x squared plus bx, so we need to add the square of the half of the coefficient of x to make it as x squared plus bx plus b over 2 raised to 2. Simply, therefore, our formula is we have c is equivalent to b over 2 squared. So now, in terms of this topic, completing the square, for us to easily understand this one, let us apply the concept of completing the square in our first example. Given with x squared plus 8x is equivalent to 0. Here, we need to identify the third term of our expression. So, but first, let us just rewrite it. We have x squared plus 8x. Then, let us just have a blank is equivalent to 0 because our goal is to identify the third term of our expression. So next, for us to identify the third term of our expression, so we need to identify the given. Particularly, ang given na kailangan natin is the letter B of our standard form or the number beside x variable. So ano po yung number beside x? So we have number 8. So therefore, we will just write 8. And for our formula, we have C is equivalent to B over 2 squared. Therefore, let us solve the third term by substituting the value of our B to our expression. So substituting C is equivalent to 8 over 2 squared. C is equivalent to 8 over 2 is 4 squared, or simply means RC is 4 times 4 or 4 squared is 16. Therefore, for our third term, we have 16 as the value in the blank. Always remember, if we add 16 on the left side of our equation, as you can see, there is an equal sign. Therefore, if we add 16, we should add 16 on the right side. Therefore, to sum it up, our final answer, our final equation will be, we have x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equivalent to 16. And now, since we are done with the process of completing the square, our objective now is to identify the roots of the given equation. So to identify this one, so let us just factor out this x squared plus 8x plus 16. Then we will just leave the 16 number on the right part. So to factor it out, so we will be recalling the concept of our factoring using box method. So using box method, we have, this is the box. We have our x squared here and we have 16. And for x and 16, we will be thinking about two numbers or two letters that if we multiply it, the answer is x squared or the answer is 16. So for x squared, we have x times x, negative x times negative x. We have x squared multiplied by 1, or we have negative x squared multiplied by negative 1. And for 16, we have 4 multiplied by 4, negative 4 multiplied by negative 4, 2 multiplied by 8, Negative 2 multiplied by 8, negative 8. Then we have 16 times 1, and we have negative 16 times negative 1. So may na-miss out po ba tayo so far? So I think ito na yun. So now, let us identify the correct factors of the given expression. By writing first, so ano nga yung pwede natin unahin? So unahin natin to, tsaka unahin natin to. We have x and x, 4 and 4. Multiplying it diagonally, so we have 4 multiplied by x is 4x. We have x times 4, we have 4x, x. By adding it, so 4x plus 4x, the answer is 8x. And since we have 8x and our middle term is 8x, therefore our factors are correct. So meaning we would just have to put parentheses, 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 and identify the sign for 4. We have positive, sign for 4, positive. So therefore our factored form is, we have x plus 4 multiplied by x plus 4 is equivalent to 16. Next, as you observe, x plus 4 and x plus 4 are just the same. So since they are just the same, we can just simply rewrite it as 1. So x plus 4. Then since they are 2, therefore we would just write squared. Then 16. So as you observe in terms of this topic, we recall the concept of square root. So now we will be recalling the concept of square root method. Using square root method here, so we will just square root both of the side. And what will happen? So we just need to simplify it. So it will become x plus 4. And we have square root of 16. So square root of 16, so what will be the answer using the concept of square root? So we have positive negative 4. Tama po so far? So since we are given this kind of expression, our goal now is identify the values of x. So to identify the values of x, so we need to separate the positive negative 4. So let us go to the lobby. So clear ko lang to. So therefore, in terms of our roots solution, we have x plus 4 is equivalent to positive negative 4. Let's check kung tama yung sinulat ko. Okay. Sorry. So now let us go back. So let us just separate it. We have x plus 4 is equivalent to positive 4. X plus 4 is equivalent to negative 4. So let us just solve it. Moving 4 to the other side, moving 4 to the other side. 4 moving to the other side, it will become x is equivalent to 4 minus 4. Or simply x is equivalent to 0. On the other hand, we have 4 moving to the other side, it will become x is equivalent to negative 4 minus 4, or simply we have x is equivalent to negative 8. Therefore, this is our two answers in this given expression. So as you observe, we have two answers. We have two different answers because in quadratic equation, there should only have two number of roots. So therefore, we have root 1, which is x is equivalent to 0, and root 2, we have x is equivalent to negative 8. So if you find the discussion fast, feel free to pause the video and just pause and play and pause, play it and get the idea, then pause it, apply it in our example. Next, we have our second example. In our second example, so please please answer it within 2 minutes on your own, and let's see if you will get the correct answer for this one. So for this example, medyo mahaba siya. So therefore, Sir Michael will be using a different whiteboard for us to easily see the continuation solution. So in our given example or in a given expression, we have x squared, then ano yan? Plus 3, no? X squared plus 3x is equivalent to 0. Our first step is we need to put a space. X squared plus 3x plus space is equivalent to 0. Next, we need to write the given. So anong given natin? So we have b is equivalent to 3. And our formula formula we have C is equivalent to B over 2, then squared. For our solution, we will just substitute the given to our formula. We have C is equivalent to B over 2 is we have 3 over 2, then squared. Then solving it, always remember if we are given with a fraction and an exponent or raise an exponent, always remember we can distribute our exponent to our numerator and our numerator. So what will happen? It will become C is equivalent to 2 squared over 3 squared over 2 squared. Or simply means simplifying it, so C is equivalent to 9 over 4. Therefore, our given third term is 9 over 4. Since we add 9 over 4 here, so we need to add 9 over 4 in the other side as well. So therefore, this is the process on how to complete our completing the square. So now, in terms of our next step, so let us just rewrite it. So we have x squared plus 3x plus 9 over 4 is equivalent to 9 over 4. And our goal now is to identify the roots of the given expression. So the next step in terms of here is we will be factoring this out. So I know that you think it is much hard and different in our previous example because in this example we are involved with a fraction. Tama po ba? And since we are involved with a fraction, so more likely meron tayong impression na mahirap to. But in terms of that, so hindi po natin yun papapuntahin sa ganon. So let us try to discuss it in an easy way. So let us have our factoring. So this kind of factoring that I will be talking to you will be the shortcut way of factoring. So it is different from the square root method, but it is partially the same in the last part of the computation. So later on, you will be seeing it. So makikita niyo po yan kung paano natin siya masasagutan ng mas madali. So ready na? So let us factor this out by writing like this one. Parenthesis, 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 parenthesis is equivalent to 9 over 4. So always remember if we are directly solving the factored form, so let us just look for our first term. We have x squared. Since we're given with the x squared, automatically there will be an x and x in our parentheses. And now, ang tanong, dito sa ating second term in the factored form, ano naman po kaya yung magiging value natin? Tandaan, for the shortcut, for us to identify the second term, titingnan lang po natin yung laman ng formula ng C. We have b over 2 squared. Ang lalagay lang po natin dito ay yung b over 2 and b over 2. And kung ano man ang sign niya, so we will just copy the sign. If it is positive, positive. It could be negative, negative. It could be a positive, negative. It is dependent on the given expression. So now, for us to formally show the entire computation, so I'll just remove the formula. So now, let us identify the second term in our previous example. So ang kailangan po natin ay we have b over 2. Tama po ba ano yung value ng b over 2? So we have the given, we have the formula, ito yung b over 2. So in our solution, sinubstitute natin given or yung b over 2. So we have 3 over 2. So yun na po yun. So yung 3 over 2 na yun, isusulat lang natin dito. Then after that, we will just copy the sign. So anong sign ni 3 over 2? We have positive. So we will have right to and positive, positive, and positive. And nasusundan po so far. And since, as you observe, they are the same, more likely we can just write it as x plus 3 over 2 squared is equivalent to 9 over 4. And question po so far? Okay, so in this one, so let us transfer this kind of solution in our next slide. X plus 3 over 2 is equivalent to 9 over 4, then squared. So the next step in terms of solving this one is we need to square root both of them. Square root of the expression, square root of 9, 4. So from here, we have square root and squared, so we will just retain it as we have x plus 3 over 2. And from here, as you observe, we have square root of 9 over 4. Always remember one of the property of square root, and there's a division sign or the division or a fraction inside its radical. We can make it as by distributing the square root in our numerator and in our denominator. So what will happen? It will become square root of 9 over square root of 4. And in this case, we can just easily solve the expression. So square root of 9 is 3 and square root of 4 is 2. Therefore, we have our expression. So now our goal is we need to identify the roots. And from this 3 over 2, let us just write positive, negative because we simplify it with a radical sign. So now let us solve the value of x. So we have x plus 3 over 2 equals to positive negative 3 over 2. So let us just separate them. X plus 3 over 2 is equivalent to 3 over 2. And to the other side, we have x plus 3 over 2 is equivalent to negative 3 over 2. So let us solve. So moving 3 over 2 to the other side, it will become x is equivalent to 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2. Or simply x is equivalent to 0. So this is our first root. Our second root is that we need to move positive 3 over 2 to the other side. It will become x equals to negative 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2. Since they have the same denominator, we can just simply write the denominator 2 and let us just have to identify the numerator. So for our numerator, we have 2 multiplied by our denominator. So 2 divided by 2 is we have 1. Then 1 multiplied to our negative 3. So the answer is we have negative 3. So for the other one naman, we have, so 2 divided by 2, we have 1 multiplied by 3. So we have negative 3. Therefore, we have x is equivalent to negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6 over 2. Or simply negative 6 over 2 is just negative 3. Therefore, this is our final answer for this example. So that's it. So thank you very much for listening. And in terms of this video, please watch first the square root method and the quadratic formula and the factoring. And then after that, you can now go to this completing the square because all of the topics that we have said are the prerequisites. So we are required to have that subject first before having this one. And thank you.